Who is the villain of BFDI, or better yet, the main antagonist of the show? There is a couple of candidates you could say, people like four, maybe even one. But in this video, I'm going to be telling you and explaining the real antagonist of this series. But before we begin this video, if you enjoy video essays and other object shows like this, then please consider subscribing to my channel as I do want to hit 6,000 subscribers pretty soon. I'm creating my own object show very soon. It's probably going to come out later this year or early next year. If you want to join the channel, then go ahead. There's a lot of cool perks of joining the channel. But that's enough shameless plugging. Let's just go ahead and get into this video. Now, the first candidate for being the villain of BFDI is someone like One. One is a character that has definitely been talked about a lot recently because of their appearances in Teapot, and I think One is definitely one of the more interesting candidates for being the villain of BFDI. The main reason is because of the things that they've done in recent Teapot episodes, like taking away some of the contestants, like a select few, and keeping them sort of captive for a little while, to the point where the other contestants had to put up missing posters for some of them. But I think the thing that kind of makes One like a candidate to be the villain of BFDI is the reason that I just said. I mean, there's not a lot of hosts or characters in an object show that kidnaps other contestants. That's just not common, and takes them away from their friends. Even though BFDI, is a lot more of a lighthearted show, kidnapping is still not good, right? Like I said before, it got to the point where they had to put up missing posters for their fellow contestants because of this. But you know what I mean. One is still a fairly new character within the series, and I think it's probably best that we get to see a bit more of her character and then make a further analysis on that later on. Is because even though One did appear in a few episodes, her appearance or their appearance is still very recent. So yeah. Now, I think the next possible candidate for a BFDI villain could be someone like Loser. Now, I know this sounds pretty crazy, but think about it like this. From the theory that popular object show YouTuber Fordle made, a couple years back about Loser's friendship with Winner, this could make, Loser kind of think about it a bit more, considering the last time that we saw him compete in the game, which was in BFB post split. And think about it like this: I want you to let's just go over the elimination scene real quick. So, Loser, um, he was pretty confident leading up to it being announced that he was eliminated. He was pretty confident in the fact that he was going to get a good enough amount of votes to where he could stay. But obviously that didn't end up happening and he was eliminated. Immediately after figuring this out, he was disappointed. Obviously, he didn't expect to be eliminated. Now, even though Loser isn't really a mean character, in fact, he is kind of a nice character, I think any amount of popularity could probably get to your head at some point, and that might happen with Loser. Like I said, I don't know. This is a bit more of a niche theory, and it has a lot of holes in it. So I think we just have to see Loser a bit more to actually believe this. And this was more of a popular theory a little bit ago when post split was still going on. But I don't know. Maybe Loser might be jealous of the fact that he is not in the spotlight anymore, and Winner is, and he might want to do something about that, either being bad or good or just neutral. I don't really know how you can do something good about that, but I don't know. It's just a fun theory. I don't really think this one could be true, but some people think that 4 would be the villain of BFDI. I don't personally believe this. I explained in my last video that 4 could be a candidate of a evil host, but I think he is kind of starting to change now. I don't think he still has a bit of his old personality that shines through, but I don't think he's anywhere near as violent as he was back in pre-split. And I don't even think he'd want to be the villain of BFDI. I think he's just glad that he was able to host his, season and his fair share of the show. And I think he's just fine with chilling with X and, the other contestants, popping in every now and then. Is because when we see 4, I don't really see him vengeful at all. And in my last video, when I was talking about him being evil, I was kind of more like referring to the earlier versions of himself. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this to save face. You guys know that I don't really care if people disagree with my opinions, but I just kind of want to clarify that. And yeah, like I said, this theory is a bit more kind of like on the speculative side, is because Four doesn't, like, at least from what we've seen recently, he doesn't really seem like the type of host that would become a villain, especially from what we've seen in recent Teapot episodes. If you're talking about pre-split Four, I don't know, but this version of Four, nah. Now, this candidate, or this host, I think is definitely probably going to become the villain of BFDI, and that is Announcer. Announcer was obviously the original host. He hosted BFDI, and that's it. He hosted the first season, and he kind of disappeared for a bit. He went back to what I'm believing is his home planet for a while, and then, Four took over BFB, and Announcer was not too fond of this, obviously. So he decided he was going to take the show back. But him and Four came up with a truce, and at the end of BFB post-split, everything was normal, everything was fine, they got the happy ending. But, knowing Announcer, he's not all that predictable. So he could change his mind. He could be like, I'm still salty that this guy took my show for a bit, and these other hosts took my show, and this originally belongs to me. And yeah, he could definitely be like that. It's because, come on, it's Announcer. He's not, he's unpredictable. He might change his mind on the situation. He might think something else, or he might not like two. Which, actually, that theory is, I don't know if that theory is all the way that right. Like, he probably does like two. Is because, in a Fordle theory, Fordle mentioned that it's a possibility that Announcer could have sent two to take back the show from Four, or at least partially do it so Announcer can focus on the other part of the show, being post-split. But who knows, honestly, what Announcer will do. We haven't seen him in a long, long time, so who knows. There's also a theory that TV could be the villain of BFDI, like he might go rogue one day and decide that he's had enough or whatever and become the villain. I don't know, though. I mean, TV is, AI, right? Technology. He could definitely, like, malfunction or something in the wrong way and decide, you know what I mean? You know what? I'm going to fight against this. Like I said, I don't know too much on this theory yet. I haven't really looked into it a lot. It definitely is a possibility, like a lot of the other ones on this list. I think One and Announcer are like the biggest candidates, though, for like being the villain of BFDI. But like I said, who knows? It could be anyone, honestly. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed this video, then consider subscribing to the channel. But I'm not gonna waste you guys' time, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.
Have some more chicken, have some more pie. It doesn't matter if it's boiled or fried. Have some more chicken, have some more pie. It doesn't matter if it's boiled or fried. Have some more chicken, have some more pie. It doesn't matter if it's boiled or fried. Have some more chicken, have some more pie. It doesn't matter if it's boiled or fried.